Anthropic's advanced AI models were pulled offline globally on June 12, leaving developers frozen as access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 endpoints vanished. The shutdown followed a U.S. government export control directive, citing national security, an order applying to foreign nationals whether inside or outside the United States. Because the order restricted access for foreign national employees and users alike, Anthropic disabled the models for all customers to ensure compliance, forcing a sudden manual fallback to the older Opus 4.8. If your development team includes foreign nationals or operates in international markets, your core product logic is now subject to sudden external regulatory vetoes. System resilience now depends on looking past benchmark hype to evaluate the regional and regulatory stability of an AI model's supply chain. The catalyst for this intervention was Project Glasswing, an Anthropic initiative that revealed specific high-stakes capabilities in their frontier models. During internal testing, Mythos-class models demonstrated the ability to autonomously find and exploit zero-day vulnerabilities in critical software, including major operating systems and web browsers. These models identified flaws that had survived decades of human review, effectively proving that AI has reached the level of a potent cybersecurity weapon. This reclassification moves frontier AI from the category of standard software subscriptions into that of tightly regulated weapons-grade infrastructure. Because top-tier AI now functions as geopolitical leverage, enterprise leaders have to plan for a future where access to these models is no longer guaranteed for a global workforce. Choosing between Fable 5 and the reliable Opus 4.8 requires a clear-eyed look at the performance-to-cost ratio. This chart shows the capability gap. On the SWE Bench Pro metric for agentic coding, Fable 5 scores 80.3. If a geopolitical ban strikes again, a system without model-agnostic routing will simply stop functioning. This illustrates difficulty-based routing. An incoming prompt enters a routing node that identifies the complexity and stakes of the request. Complex coding work goes to the frontier model, while routine requests are diverted to Opus 4.8, which handles the task at half the price. This also leverages Anthropic's built-in safety net. If a request trips a safety classifier on Fable 5, the API provides an automatic fallback to Opus 4.8 to ensure the user still receives an answer. Dynamic routing has evolved from a cost-saving tactic into the fundamental architecture required for system survival. Beyond API development, enterprise IT teams face a significant compliance risk within Microsoft 365 Copilot. Many European organizations rely on the EU data boundary, a commitment that their data will be stored and processed within the EU. However, the Claude models integrated into Copilot do not run on Microsoft's local Azure infrastructure. When a user triggers a Claude-based agent, that inference data leaves the EU data boundary and routes directly to Anthropic servers in the US. This data transfer can violate GDPR and exposes sensitive corporate information to US jurisdictional laws like the Cloud Act. Blindly enabling frontier models inside a corporate platform can compromise your data sovereignty and create a major regulatory crisis. An intentional deployment strategy requires a clear decision tree. For high-stakes coding, route to Fable 5. For routine or latency-sensitive work, bypass the frontier tier for Opus 4.8. For regulated EU data, avoid the global API. Route through AWS or Google Cloud regional endpoints. Properly sorting these requests ensures that each task uses only the level of capability and risk it actually requires. Frontier AI is a volatile operational dependency that requires deliberate, multi-layered governance to remain a viable part of your tech stack. For power users, use Opus 4.8 for your daily drafting and reasoning. It is the more efficient choice for nearly all routine work. For engineers, replace single model architectures with difficulty routers to manage your costs and maintain uptime when models are pulled offline. For enterprise IT, audit your Copilot settings today. Manually restrict third-party models to specific groups to prevent illegal data transfers. Deploying AI today requires the same level of architectural rigor and regulatory awareness as managing any other piece of heavily regulated critical infrastructure.